This father bathes his daughter every day, always covering her eyes. One day, the mother went to give him shower gel, but only saw her husband. As she walked back to the room, puzzled, the father suddenly screamed, "Run!" The father and daughter swapped bodies several days earlier. Koume and Kyoichiro had once been close, but they grew distant as she got older. For years, they communicated mostly through Rieko. Then something bizarre happened while they were returning from a visit to Koume's grandmother. The emotional distance between them felt enormous. When their train entered a tunnel, it braked violently and threw everyone forward. Kyoichiro grabbed Koume and protected her. They woke safely in the hospital, only to discover that their minds had switched bodies. Seeing her father's aging face in the mirror, Koume was horrified. "You just can't accept it." In order to switch back to their own bodies, after thinking it over carefully, the father took Koume to a set of stairs. Because in the movie, the male and female leads could swap bodies by rolling down the stairs. At first, Koume was a little scared, but when she thought about having to live with this old face, she mustered up her courage. Then, the two of them held hands and jumped down together. But as expected, their bodies didn't switch back, and they ended up getting hurt all over again. With no solution, Koume and Kyoichiro agreed to hide the body swap until they could reverse it. If anyone learned the truth, both their reputations would suffer and people might think they were insane. The first crisis came at home. Kyoichiro's mind now occupied Koume's body, so showering would expose his daughter's body to him. Mortified, Koume blindfolded her father and helped him bathe without letting him look at all. Dinner brought another problem. Rieko kept pouring alcohol for the body of her husband, unaware that Koume was inside it. Koume made excuses not to drink, while Kyoichiro, trapped in his underage daughter's body, could only watch longingly as Rieko stopped him from taking a sip. The next morning was worse. Kyoichiro felt awkward in Koume's miniskirt and forgot to keep his legs together, forcing her to remind him to cover himself with a bag on the stairs. Meanwhile, Koume went to Kyoichiro's office without his reading glasses. Nervous, she relied on notes he had prepared to answer his coworkers correctly. At school, Kyoichiro panicked when Koume's best friend, Ritsuko Nakayama, hugged him. At lunch, Ritsuko grew suspicious because Koume, normally lightning fast at texting, had suddenly become painfully slow. Kyoichiro blamed his stiff fingers on lingering effects from the train accident, and Ritsuko finally believed him. He then discovered that Koume liked an older student named Kenta Osugi and immediately disapproved. When Kenta invited Koume out, she forced her father to attend in her body, threatening to wreck his career if he refused. Kyoichiro reluctantly put on high heels, expecting only dinner and a movie. Koume secretly watched from nearby as Kenta arrived for the date. Determined to keep them apart, Kyoichiro formed a mischievous plan. At the theater, he deliberately chose a boring movie, hoping the disastrous date would end Kenta's interest. Instead, Kenta simply fell asleep. Afterward, Kenta apologized and took Kyoichiro, still in Koume's body, out for burgers. Kyoichiro ordered enough food for 3 people and ignored Kenta while playing with his phone. Watching from another table, Koume ground her teeth in fury. Unable to tolerate her father's behavior any longer, she finally shouted at him. Koume nearly exposed their secret and walked away in frustration. Kyoichiro believed he was protecting her, so he tried another way to ruin the date. He told Kenta that Koume hated shopping and preferred staying home to play video games. Unfortunately, Kenta was also a homebody, and their supposed shared interest only brought him closer. Kenta became convinced that Koume was perfect for him, leaving Kyoichiro speechless. On the way home, Koume overheard Kenta say how much he had enjoyed the date. Despite Koume's old-fashioned behavior and enormous appetite, being with her had felt easy and comfortable. Every compliment made Kyoichiro's expression darker. His plan to separate them had completely backfired. Then, as they prepared to part, Kenta called out to Kyoichiro in Koume's body and looked ready to confess. Kyoichiro tried to stop him while the real Koume watched with her heart pounding. She remembered admiring Kenta from a distance before a friend introduced them. Although they slowly became closer, Koume had never found the courage to express her feelings beyond brief encounters and simple greetings. Now her long-awaited chance had arrived, but her father was standing in her place. Koume rushed forward in Kyoichiro's body to stop the confession. Kenta froze when a middle-aged stranger suddenly shook his hand and asked him to take good care of his daughter. Koume had momentarily forgotten how bizarre that sounded. Without her interruption, however, Kyoichiro might have rejected Kenta outright. Koume wanted to confess immediately, but for now she happily said goodbye to Kenta. Kyoichiro remained cautious and warned her that boys could be deceptive, telling her to stay alert. Koume understood that he was worried about her and sincerely thanked her father for caring. Those simple words meant more than Koume knew. They were the first sincere thanks Kyoichiro had heard from her in years. Kyoichiro was moved to tears because his daughter rarely spoke openly to him, much less thanked him. After the date, Koume happily decided to repay his help by working hard at his office. But a corporate job was far harder than school. She faced pressure from his boss and had to repair every mistake made by his subordinates. Before long, Koume faced a crisis that could cost Kyoichiro his job. A spoiled coworker named Kanako Shina constantly avoided work, and Koume did not know how to discipline her while impersonating her father. Then Kanako accidentally deleted an entire month of essential survey data gathered through the team's exhausting fieldwork. The survey results were due by 6:30 the next morning. Missing the deadline could get the entire team fired. Everyone blamed team leader Kyoichiro, whose body was occupied by Koume. She asked the real Kyoichiro for help, but even he had no solution. With a mortgage to pay and a family depending on his salary, Kyoichiro feared they could lose their home. Her dad scratched his head anxiously, and Koume was in a tough spot. If her dad lost his job, she might have to drop out and never see her friends again. Squatting there feeling down, Koume had an idea. She could ask friends to distribute surveys to everyone they knew to finish by 6:30. But as time passed, everyone stared at the screen and results didn't update. Seeing this, Kanako felt guilty and broke down. The team initially watched from the sidelines because their leader would take the blame. Just as Koume lost hope, the progress bar jumped to 30% and everyone rushed over excitedly. Later, Kanako apologized and promised to work harder. Koume's solution earned new respect for Kyoichiro, especially from his subordinate Wakako Nishino, who already admired him because he had once defended her and confronted a difficult client. Seeing Kyoichiro save the team again deepened Wakako's feelings. She later invited Koume, still inside Kyoichiro's body, to dinner and carefully tested whether he might return her affection. Koume reminded Wakako that Kyoichiro had a wife and daughter, but Wakako refused to give up. Koume paid the bill and left. At home, she told Kyoichiro, who advised her to avoid Wakako before the situation caused a misunderstanding. Wakako kept flirting anyway. When a power outage interrupted the team's work, she suggested moving the unfinished project to Kyoichiro's house. Everyone agreed, leaving Koume no way to refuse. But once Wakako entered the Kawahara home, while the others worked, Wakako slipped into Kyoichiro's room and planted an earring in his coat, hoping to damage his marriage. When Rieko returned, Wakako claimed she had come to thank Kyoichiro and deliberately mentioned their private dinner. Rieko began to question her husband's loyalty. Then, as Koume entered in Kyoichiro's body, Wakako staged a fall into her arms. Rieko's expression immediately darkened. She confronted the person she believed was her husband, but Koume apologized quickly enough to calm the situation. Wakako still would not stop. That night, she suddenly hugged Koume, who awkwardly invented an excuse to escape. Then Rieko discovered an even more troubling piece of evidence while cleaning. Rieko found Wakako's earring in Kyoichiro's coat and furiously demanded an explanation. Realizing it was a setup, Koume claimed that Kyoichiro had merely found the earring at work. Rieko reluctantly believed her. Later, Wakako returned with more strange questions, but their standoff was interrupted when Grandma Hisoka arrived, carrying peaches she called legendary fruit that ripened only once every 10 years. Grandma explained that eating the legendary peaches could exchange two people's souls. Kyoichiro, still inside Koume's body, realized that a peach had caused their swap. Wakako misunderstood and wanted to exchange bodies with Rieko so she could be with Kyoichiro. He quickly ate every peach before she could try. That evening, Kyoichiro told Koume the truth. With none left to reverse the swap, they had to travel to the countryside and find more. Early the next morning, they left Rieko a note and followed Grandma's map, but Kyoichiro accidentally lost it. Wakako found the map and led the office team toward the peach grove. She eventually discovered one legendary peach. Meanwhile, the lost father and daughter reached the grove by chance. Kyoichiro spotted another peach, and the two picked and ate it together. They finished the peach, but nothing changed. When they encountered the coworkers, they learned that Wakako had found another one. Koume and Kyoichiro realized Wakako probably held the true legendary peach and still intended to exchange bodies with Rieko. Koume asked her to hand it over, but Wakako refused and ran away. Cornered, Wakako nearly swallowed the peach. Koume stopped her and called the plan childish. She explained that stealing another woman's body could never win Kyoichiro's heart. Wakako was talented and deserved someone who genuinely cared about her. Perhaps that person was Kosuke Nakajima, the co-worker who had always remained by her side. Koume's words finally reached Wakako, and she surrendered the peach. But during the handoff, the peach slipped from their hands. In the frantic scramble, Koume and Kyoichiro lost their footing near the slope. One dropped the peach to grab the other's hand, choosing family over their only chance to reverse the swap. They still tumbled down together. When Koume later opened her eyes in the hospital, she stared anxiously at her hands. Koume ran to a mirror and discovered that she was finally back in her own body. Overjoyed, she laughed in relief. Kyoichiro, however, remained unconscious after the fall. As he murmured prayers for his daughter's safety, Koume held his hand and called his name. Regretting how immaturely she had treated him, she now wanted only for her father to wake up. As Koume cried beside him, Kyoichiro suddenly sat upright. He had already awakened and only pretended to remain unconscious so he could hear her honest feelings. Relieved, Koume playfully hit him. They celebrated being back in their own bodies, but then noticed the time, grabbed their bags, and ran. Kenta's final soccer match was about to begin. Koume had promised to cheer for Kenta at his final soccer match. Seeing her gave him confidence, but his last shot struck the goalpost. The team lost, and Kenta blamed himself for missing the chance to reach the final. He had planned to confess if they won, so he turned away in shame. Koume stopped him and said setbacks were inevitable and victory was not everything. Real heroes give everything they have, a lesson Koume had learned while living as an adult. She had often watched Kenta practice tirelessly, and his determination always helped her stay positive. Encouraged by her words, Kenta stepped closer and finally confessed, "I like you." At last, their feelings were mutual. After living in his daughter's body, the formerly cautious Kyoichiro became more courageous. Determined to help his team and their customers, he persuaded company leadership to approve the proposal. Impressed by his commitment, they promoted him to department head. During the celebration, Grandma Hisoka finally revealed the peach's true secret. A body swap required one person to wish selflessly for the other's safety. If they didn't bond within 7 days, they'd swap back. Learning this, they grew closer and more considerate. Despite occasional disagreements, their shared journey deepened their connection. We often feel misunderstood by parents, yet rarely consider their hardships. Only by experiencing each other's challenges can we truly understand life's difficulties. Parents underestimate school stress, while kids overlook work pressures. Without walking in their shoes, true perspective remains elusive. We all strive for a better life. While we can't switch bodies with our parents like in the film, we can try to communicate more. Do not wait until it's too late to cherish them. Please like and subscribe for more great content.